down the noise and listen close. Truth not hide forever. Hey. Colonel in the O's, Wyatt Army, stand up. Hey. Legacy media all around, headlines spinning round and round, selling fear from town to town, trying to keep the people down. Lies and fake news every day, misinformation on display. Disinformation lights the way, leading sheep so far astray. Little lambs in line, trusting everyone in sign, marching where them say is fine, never asking who designed. Truth gets traded for political gain, again and again and again, while ordinary people feel the strain, caught in somebody else's game. Resistance is futile, them say, just obey what you're told today. But the people waking up anyway, and the truth keeps finding a way. Resistance is futile, them cry, while their stories never quite comply. You can see it with your own two eyes. Truth lives on, it never dies. Them divide people left and right, turning neighbors into fights, clouding up what should be bright, hiding facts out of sight. They use people then discard, push narratives strong and hard. When the evidence leaves them scarred, them simply move the goalposts yard by yard. Cognitive dissonance in the air, contradictions everywhere, yet some still pretend not to care. Like the emperors got close to it, but a movement's growing every day, not from rage and not from hate, just folks who choose to investigate before it's far too late. Resistance is futile, them say, just obey what you're told today. But the people waking up anyway, and the truth keeps finding a way. Resistance is futile, them cry, while their stories never quite comply. You can see it with your own two eyes. Truth lives on, hey, it never dies. Come and get a daily dose of reality. No hysteria, no manufactured tragedy. Take a little break from propaganda and insanity, and step into a place of clarity. Inoculation against fake news infection, yellow journalism without direction. Question everything, make your own inspection. Truth should never fear examination. Join the colonel, hear the story. Without all the money, facts should glory. Facts before ideology, that's the art of honest reporting. The Wyatt Army isn't just a name, it's ordinary people in the game, thinking freely, not seeking fame, refusing to be led by shame. Just chill, relax and near the scene, see what all the headlines mean. Objectivity sharp and clean like a river flowing crystal green. No need for panic, no need for fear. Take a look and make it clear. When the facts and evidence appear, the signal rises through the smear. Resistance is futile, them clear, yet more people question all the same, searching truth beyond the frame, and refusing to play the game. Resistance is futile, no more. People knocking on reality's door, seeking facts they're looking for, and finding what they can't ignore. Yeah man, truth shines brighter than confusion. The noise fades, the facts remain. Colonel Chris and the Wyatt Army, keeping it cool, keeping it real. Resistance is futile when the truth is coming true. Fade out. Truth, 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 truth. Ooh, truth, truth. Ah, da, 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 da. Truth, 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 truth.
Marvin Divine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Hello folks, welcome back to the program. It is Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026. Chris live in central Pennsylvania for your daily dose, your daily inoculation, your protection against yellow journalism, hate wankers, propaganda, misinformation, disinformation. Let's check on the sound quality. Misinformation. All right, that's working fine. It is wrong on that clock up there. That Chinese clock just doesn't keep time very well. It's now a full 3 to 4 minutes behind. It is now 11:37 here on the East Coast of the United States, 17:37 in South Africa. Early today because it's Wednesdays. Wednesdays where the Colonel comes up on Ronaldo's program after this. So welcome to everybody out there. Won't have time to say hello to everybody. Second chances, thank you for your membership. Appreciate that. Thank you. Long-term membership. So plenty to talk about. Primary day in many states last night, including California, South Dakota, Iowa. But before we get to that, I just want to talk very quickly about some of my travel plans. For those who are unaware, a couple events that are square up on the calendar here. There are others which I can't discuss yet. But I will be traveling most likely to the Atlanta area in the next 10 days or so. I'll be down there. I'll be meeting with refugees, also with Neil Diamond from the South African Chamber of Commerce. And I'll also be traveling to Greenville, South Carolina. If you are a refugee family in the Greenville area and would be interested in participating in a documentary, you can reach out and contact me. And if your circumstances are interesting enough and it works in our schedule, we can potentially get you into this filming. Anyway, so that's what's coming up in the near term. Later in the month after that trip, I intend to travel to New England, visits to New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and perhaps even Connecticut. I'll need some champions up there. I haven't got any yet, although one person did reach out. I haven't had a chance to get back to them. So that trip is coming up. The 4th of July, my location is yet to be determined. Springboks are playing on that day, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not sure where I will be on the 4th of July. I haven't made plans for this huge 250th anniversary of our independence, at least our Declaration of Independence. We actually earned our independence in 1783 with the Peace of Paris. So that's coming up. After that, got a gap in between for other travel, different places, which has not firmed up yet, so I'll keep that to myself. And then in September, I will be in Baltimore for the Springboks match against the All Blacks. We know that the Campbells will be coming for that. Campbell brothers will be coming to perform in Baltimore, as well as the Bry Army will be there. I'm looking to see who else will be there. I'll be having a meet and greet. I got to make some plans. I already have a hotel room I had booked for months for the Friday night, not knowing what time the game is. I tried to get a game, one for Saturday. I haven't quite sorted that out yet. The Zulu Kingdom only a little over 20 years old. Will the Zulus be giving back? Exactly, Peter. Exactly right. Exactly right. The Nguni-speaking peoples arrived in South Africa 1,600 years ago. They should give back every square hectare of South Africa to the Khoi, San, and Coloreds and Futsek back up the Rift Valley if they want to play this game. Absolutely 100%. Going to get to that. So that song is Resistance is Futile. Little Lambs to the Slaughter is what that's about. New theme song for the program. Talking about how the fake stream media and social media influencers have misled the world and people can't make decisions for themselves with critical thinking. Well, welcome back. What about the Cape? What about the Cape? The Nguni-speaking peoples weren't there. The Khoi and San were there, and then Europeans arrived on a permanent basis in 1652. Prior to that, there was no permanent basis, just occasional visits by Portuguese and shipwrecks. So, moving on to the news today. Let's get to that first story. Newsday is reporting this story. Interesting about Newsday is they don't give authors names. I'm not sure why that is, why there are no names. What's going on here? So it's interesting that the MK party wants to go back to 1652, but, you know, the Zulu kingdom and the Nguni-speaking peoples have no written record. So how do they know what happened in 1652? The only way they know what happened in 1652 is if the Whiteys told them, because they recorded history. But the Zulu people have no written history back then. They didn't exist. They didn't exist in 1652. Wow, this racism is unbelievable. South Africa's third largest party wants to shift land claims to 1652 when Jan van Riebeck arrived in the Cape. These people are pushing for a civil war. What they want is a war. They want bloodshed. That's what they want. And looking at this crowd, not one of them is fit enough to actually fight a war. They'll get slaughtered. MK wants to move the legal date for land tracking and restitution to 1652 and replace land titles in South Africa with 100-year leases. Zwanele Manya, a member of the parliament representing Mkhonto we Sizwe, shared this during a State of the Nation podcast. They recently labeled the Constitution's 22nd Amendment bill, which aims to amend the Constitution of South Africa. The bill wants to affirm that land and natural resources are the common heritage of all citizens of South Africa. It seeks to provide for the state and traditional or Khoisan leadership's custodian of land and natural resource. It also wants to allow the expropriation of land without compensation for public purpose in the public interest. It seeks to extend the historical cutoff date for land restitution to 6 April 1652. The bill seeks to remove all references to compensation for land expropriation as required by Section 25. Section 25, Communism Property Clause, balances protection of existing property rights with the mandate for land reform. Section states that no one can be deprived of property unless it's under the law of general application and you pay them fairly. So they're fighting for expropriation without compensation, which is already the law of the land. The Manya told the State of the Nation podcast that the South African Constitution set the restitution date for 19 June 1913 is insufficient. The problem is this country started in 1652 with the arrival of Jan van Riebeeck. When they arrived, they wanted to settle. Even then, we Africans, being very welcoming people, allowed them to settle, but that was not enough for them. Well, first off, dingbat, you have no history. You weren't there. You weren't there. You Africans weren't there. Khoi, Strandloper's son, they were there. You weren't there. You interlopers coming down the Rift Valley weren't there. If you want to play this we and you, us and them game, you weren't there. Welcoming people, you didn't welcome anybody. You slaughtered people. That was how the Zulu nation was formed. You attacked the Mfengu peoples. You attacked the Khoi, you attacked the San, you attacked the Tswana. Unbelievable. Wow. This historically ignorant retards rewriting history. They invaded, destroying everything in their path to capture the country. That's exactly what we're trying to reverse as MK, but destroying everything in their path. Destroying everything in their path. Unlike the cattle herders of the Nguni-speaking peoples who brought nothing but pestilence to South Africa and their culture, they brought no permanent civilization. Nothing. Zimbabwe, Great Zimbabwe was in Zimbabwe. The great cities of empires were in Mozambique and Zimbabwe, not in South Africa. No. No. Yes, I know the Venda had this little village that was there for hundreds of years, but yeah, not a great civilization. Sorry, just doesn't pass muster. Destroyed everything. The reality is they built everything. And for 32 years, the African National Congress has had control of the country, and they've destroyed every single thing in South Africa. It's all collapsed. The military, the police, the justice system, the highways, the roads, the water, the mines, the economy, everything is collapsed, courtesy of the ANC. And who leads the ANC? Is it the whiteys? Is it the coloreds? Is it the Indians? No, they're just token members. It's the black Africans who run it. Mani said if people want a South Africa for all, where everyone feels they belong, the first step is to move land claims baseline date backwards. When we discuss land, we must discuss it in its totality rather than focusing on a fragmented post-1913 timeline. We need to talk about the land as a whole. Really? Well, then let's go back to the year 300 or 600. Let's go back to the year 600. No, it wasn't even that. It was year 1300, yeah. Let's go back there. Let's go back to the little over 1,000 years since you came there. Let's do that. Let's do that. Wow. What we're saying is that industrial land, commercial land, farmland must belong to people of South Africa. We're not saying the state must own it, nor are we saying any individual must own it. We're saying that so who owns it, genius? State is simply the custodian. No, the state is incompetent. The state can't manage a kindergarten creche, let alone land. They're sitting on millions of hectares of land transferred to the state, and it sits there idle. Nothing's happened to it because they're incompetent thieves. Malawi is joining the ranks of black African nations fearful of the racism and xenophobia emanating out of South Africa, now repatriating its citizens from the vile, repulsive, xenophobic, race-hating South African landscape to the warm heart of Africa, Malawi. Malawi will join other countries in repatriating its nationals seeking to leave South Africa, where attacks on African migrants have been reported in parts of the country, and murders of 5 Mozambicans and 2 other foreign nationals. Ministry of Foreign Affairs said in a statement late yesterday the program would be limited to citizens who have requested assistance, with details to be announced once they made the arrangements. Anti-immigrant groups have set a June 30th deadline for undocumented foreigners to leave, fueling fear among migrant communities. Mozambique said 5 of its citizens were killed in violence, while Ghana repatriated hundreds of nationals last week, and Nigeria is scheduled to repatriate others. South Africa has the biggest economy on the continent. That's factually incorrect. The biggest economy on the continent is Nigeria. Wow. Malawi joins the ranks of black African countries, removing its nationals from xenophobic, racist South Africa. President Ramaphosa responds to the budget debate amid the Pala Pala scandal. He delivered his presidency budget vote. He said the government will invest $1 trillion over the next 3 years to drive economic growth and create jobs. Excuse me. South African government is going to invest 1 trillion rand for economic growth, creating jobs. Government doesn't create jobs. When do these idiots realize government doesn't create jobs? That's not productive. The private sector creates jobs. You create an ecosystem in which private sector can flourish with minimal regulation, appropriate, but minimal regulation, little interference from the government, but oversight to ensure a level playing field. That is how you ensure. But your system, macroeconomic racism, ensures a collapsing economy and destroys the country. 3 of my viewers in the past several nights have been on here saying they lost all their contracts because they're not black enough. They employ exclusively black workers. All those people are jobless now. Who is helped by this? No one. And where's this 1 trillion rand coming from? The World Bank, the IMF? You don't have any money. It's another lie from another lying sack of manure. Yes, another clown. This Cyril Ramaphosa just never stops his nonsense. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this guy he lies with no shame whatsoever. No shame whatsoever. Cyril has no shame whatsoever. And I, like a dog with a bone, have not let go of this since it cropped up in 2022. Unemployment over 30%, collapsing infrastructure, corruption at every turn. Money stuffed in my sofa.
Money stuffed in my sofa.
A treasure untold. Cyril's got a game ranch. Stories untold.
Pala Pala.
Ritzy joint that he didn't earn.
Glimmer and gold. Stay overnight, don't you stray.
Couch cushions hide a rainy day.
Pala Pala, where the secrets play. Under the cushions, the cash will stay. Pala Pala, don't give it away. Rainy day, rainy day. Hey. Antelope roam where the moonlight beams. Luxury whispers in velvet dreams. Cyril laughs, but nothing's as it seems. Game of chance or a clever scheme. Hidden fortune stitched in the seam. You'll never know till you're caught in the stream. Pala Pala, where the secrets play. Under the cushions, the cash will stay. Pala Pala, don't give it away. Rainy day, rainy day. Hey. Pala Pala, where the secrets play. Under the cushions, the cash will stay. Pala Pala, don't give it away. Rainy day, rainy day. Hey.
Oh, Cyril, yes. Issued a stern warning to corrupt public officials saying their days are numbered. Is he talking to himself? Is he speaking to the mirror? I can see it now at his plush mansion in Santon or in the Western Cape. Cyril standing in front of a mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the most corrupt of them all? Why, you are, Cyril. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the most corrupt of them all? I issue a stern warning to corrupt public officials, including myself. Your days are numbered. Oh my goodness. There will be no tolerance for officials who abuse public resource for personal gain, regardless of rank or political affiliation. Does that include the President of the Republic? I'm just asking for a friend. I'm just asking for a friend. We look forward to receiving the final report of the Commission of Inquiry into Criminality from Schlunga. Yeah, right. There will be no tolerance for corruption, regardless of position, status, or political affiliation. He also issued a stern warning to corrupt public servants, saying their days are numbered. Oh, the irony, the hypocrisy, the comedy of it all. The MK party's Zandile Msteksimama, is that the guy who used to be Blackland First? I can't remember. Challenged Ramaphosa on U.S. dollars. President Ramaphosa still needs to explain whether U.S. dollars found at his Pala Pala farm entered the country through Artambo or by crossing the Limpopo River on the back of a crocodile. The back of a crocodile. He addressed the president. He said, Mr. Ramaphosa, you can no longer hide behind the courts instead of serving the people. You can do this simple thing by resigning. You are hiding behind the law while being a constitutional delinquent. He further alleged that Ramaphosa occupied his position because of the financial backing of what he describes as Stellenbosch Mafia. The same funders who gave you 1 billion rand are also the funders, the chairperson of the impeachment committee. This whole thing is being rigged, but we are here, we are watching. We won't allow the Stellenbosch Mafia agenda to succeed. ANC MP Kenny Moralong raised the point of order, asking whether it was parliamentary for a member to allege the president received 1 billion rand bribe. The House Chairman Cedric Frolick said the statement was unparliamentary and asked him withdrawal. He then turned to the 2020 Maracana incident. These workers died because they wanted nothing but a living wage. They wanted education for their children. They were no criminals. You called the police on them and they were massacred. Actually, that's factually incorrect. They were thugs. They were dangerous. They presented a threat to the public. They advanced on the police. They were cautioned. They were warned to stop, and they got shot, and they got their just desserts under the rule of law. They violated the law, and they committed illegal acts and endangered public safety and got themselves killed. While that may sound heartless, it's a statement of fact. Ramaphosa is deeply tied up with Maracana. Yep. ANC MP Cameron Dugmore raised the point of order, arguing that he was casting aspirations of the president despite the findings of the Americana Commission of Inquiry, which made no adverse findings against Ramaphosa. Well, I just said the same thing. The commission had no adverse findings against him. But we can't trust any commissions out there. They're all bought and paid for and captured. Well, the ANC is rejecting an effort by the EFF and MK for a vote of no confidence against Ramaphosa. ANC Chief Whip Mdusini Ntuli has dismissed plans by EFF and MK Party to table a motion of no confidence in President Ramaphosa, describing the two parties as an unholy alliance united only by their opposition to the president. Well, that's a true statement, but what does it matter? Ramaphosa, there's prima facie evidence that he's corrupt, and he is trying to hide behind that despite his lies, claiming that he would adhere to what the courts had to say. He said, I will listen to what the Constitutional Court says, and I'll follow their ruling. And the first thing he did is he tried to subvert it by going around them to lower courts. Yes, Ramaphosa lied once again, but that's what he's good at. 521 billion rand of South African taxpayer money used to bail out corrupt and mismanaged state enterprises. That's what the figure is now, according to these folks who compiled it. I know it was a lot. I thought it would be close to $1 trillion, but, so I don't know what math they're using, but 521 billion rand. That is a lot of moolah, folks. That is a lot of moolah. That is 33 billion US dollars to corrupt enterprises, state-run enterprises, where the money went in the pockets of ANC cadres. South African government gave R500 billion rand in taxpayer money to corrupt, mismanaged state-owned entities as bailouts. This was provided by Darren Bergman, DA spokesman on planning, monitoring, and evaluation during a speech in Parliament. He said Ramaphosa's legacy will be determined in part by the future of South African state-owned enterprises. South African Airways has received close to 50 billion in bailouts. That's actually not true. They've got close to 100 billion, so these numbers aren't even valid. Eskom, 496 billion in government bailouts. Well, that alone is $500 million. half a trillion. Danelle received $9 billion. The post office $10 billion. Sanrail $47 billion. Transnet $61 billion. They asked for, but it was declined. Wow. Davy Root said the ANC broke South Africa's economy. Indeed, it has. State-owned enterprise, a disaster. These should be publicly, or they should be privatized. United States plans to impose 12.5% tariffs on South Africa over forced labor investigation. Trump administration proposed new tariffs up to 12.5% in 60 countries, including South Africa, for determining they fail to curb trade in goods made with forced labor. Yep. Trump is still coming with the tariffs. A breakthrough in the murder of these elderly couple from the Cape in Kruger National Park, in a devastating blow to South African tourism. Police in Limpopo have confirmed the arrest of 2 suspects in the murder of the Western Cape couple who were killed in the Kruger. Dina Murray, 73, and Ernst Murray, 71, from Mossel Bay. They entered the park on May 17th to celebrate her birthday. However, they were reported missing on Wednesday morning. Their bodies were discovered floating at Cross Corner on the banks of the river. Their vehicle, a double cab green Ford Ranger, was missing. Police say the suspects, aged 32 and 33, have been identified as Mozambican nationals. They were arrested in Mozambique in connection with the murders and positively linked to the crime. The arrests mark a significant milestone in the investigation and demonstrate the effectiveness of cross-border cooperation in combating serious and violent crimes. It also demonstrates the vulnerability of cross-border crime and the vulnerability of citizens who live near the borders of Zimbabwe and Mozambique and Lesotho, where cattle thieves steal cattle. They are subject to increased crime because of the weak performance of this national security forces. Authorities have deported 50 illegal aliens in a Limpopo border crackdown. Wait, are they racist? I mean, if Trump did it, he'd be a racist. 50 undocumented foreign nationals, that would be illegal aliens, were deported in 7 buses and taxis impounded during a major multi-agency law enforcement operation. The operation, led by the Cross-Border Road Transit Agency, comes amid growing concern of recent spike in cross-border bus accidents and fatalities in South Africa. 2 fraudulent license disc arrests. Look at that tire. Look at that tire. 50 undocumented foreigners. 2,884 inspections conducted. 7 impounded buses and taxis. 1 for bribery and 1 drunken driving. Wow. You take your life in your hands. Wow. A mother accused of prostituting her daughter says it was their choice. It was their choice. Your little girls became hoes, and you let them. What kind of parenting is that? A Gauteng mother is on trial accused of prostituting her 2 minor daughters and selling one of them to the lawyer. Testifying in her defense, saw nothing wrong with introducing her daughters to the sex industry. She even conceded that she would make bookings for her eldest. On one occasion, had a double booking with her and a client. The Gauteng mother, accused of pimping out 2 of her minor daughters and selling one of them to a lawyer, thought it was normal to introduce them to the sex industry, going as far as arranging for her client to book a session. She cannot be named to protect the identity of her children. She took the witness stand on Wednesday to answer the 72 charges she's on trial for. 9 of sexual exploitation of children, 9 of rape, human trafficking, kidnapping, child abuse, and creating child pornography. Despite pleading not guilty to the charge, the 38-year mother openly admits to helping her then 13-year-old daughter become a sex worker. She had 3 reasons defending herself. First, she said that she didn't know about the law. She started working as a sex worker when she was 13. Second, she claimed that her boyfriend had thrown them out. They became homeless, and her eldest daughter wanted to help them get off the streets. And third, the mother of 5 claims her eldest daughter chose to join the industry. It was her choice. I didn't raise them to keep them strict. I didn't want them to do things behind my back. She said prostitution is the oldest thing in the Bible. Actually, that's not true. The creation of the earth is the oldest thing in the Bible. Explaining how she assisted her eldest daughter to enter the industry, the mother testified she had advertisements of herself on adult websites, Sex Trader and Red Velvet. So with some of her clients inquiring via the website and others, she would make bookings for her daughter. At the same time, the mother also admitted selling child sex abuse material to clients for 300 Rand. She called these kinky videos of her daughter. Wow. When business was slow, the mother testified they even put out adverts for mother and daughter bookings. We had a double booking when she was already in the business. She already knew everything. We laughed more than anything else. We found it funny. She would sit there and giggle, and I'd keep the client busy. She didn't play with dolls like a 13-year-old. She wanted to go out. She wanted to dance. She wanted to drink. She wanted to be an adult. Wow. There's the lawyer who bought the child. This is sick people, man. Absolutely sick people. Panyazi Lesufi is confused about the role of government. He thinks the role of government is to provide housing justice. There's no such thing. You don't come out of the womb with a house. You come out with lungs, legs, eyes, ears, a pancreas, liver, kidneys, but not with a house. There is no God-given right. It's not a natural right. Gauteng vows housing justice for the province's residents, struggling to accommodate a growing population while tackling old housing policy. Gauteng may be the smallest province at just 1.5% of the country's land area, but it shoulders 16 million people in an apartheid-era housing crisis that continues to affect many residents. Apartheid-era housing crisis. An apartheid-era housing crisis. The province's population grew from 8 million in 1996, 2 years after the National Party was gone, 8 million, to 16 million today, driven by high levels of domestic international migration. We expect to exceed 18 million by 2030. But they blame it on apartheid. The Gauteng government sees this Section 26 grants every citizen the right to adequate housing and requires the state to take responsible steps to realize this right over time. Yeah, that doesn't mean the state owns or builds housing. The steps it takes is to free up the private sector. The Gauteng government sees this not only as a constitutional duty, but also an opportunity to provide decent housing, correct one of the apartheid's most enduring legacies. Housing crisis system deliberately engineered by denying black families the right to permanent, dignified, well-located shelter. They were never denied anything. Black South Africans could live perfectly fine and build their homes in the homelands. They had sovereignty under the National Party. There you go. There you go. So it's apartheid's fault that the population is twice what it was, more than twice what it was when the National Party gave up, but somehow it's apartheid's fault. Well, here, this will show you what the African National Congress can accomplish when it runs things. Umbilo's abandoned sports facilities, a growing risk to local residents. Look at that. An aerial view of the former Congela Sports Club in Durban. Criminals and homeless people invaded the clubhouse. Criminal elements and the homeless have invaded 3 former Umbilo sporting facilities, leaving them in a deplorable state in Durban's 33rd Ward. The Congela Sports Club, Freire Tennis Club, and Ray Kede Tennis Club are in non-functional state and terrible condition, said Councillor Fran Christopher when she posed questions. Yeah. There you go. This is what happens when the ANC runs things. Look at this pigsty. They just destroy everything. Just animals. Complete lack of respect from dignity for themselves, for where they live. Amazon is launching Amazon Prime in South Africa as the e-commerce battle heats up between Takealot, Shein, Temu, Walmart, and Amazon. Amazon's launched its Prime subscription service in South Africa, intensifying competition with e-commerce rivals including Takealot, Walmart, and Massmart. Well, good luck, Amazon. You're going to lose your ass because of theft. We're excited to be launching Prime on Amazon South Africa. Wait till the Amazon trucks get robbed. Your little self-guiding electrical vehicles get robbed by gangs and they go through neighborhoods because they got lots of goods in it. We're very excited to be launching Prime on Amazon South Africa today. No, I can't go to jail, Delia. I didn't say anything that's criminal. I didn't attack the dignity of anyone. I talked about the animalistic behavior of people. So no. I can say that because even in South Africa, it's not a criminal act. I didn't attack the dignity of anyone or any group. I attacked the actions of a political party and the failures of a political party, perfectly legal in South Africa. Amazon is there, but they didn't have Prime. Now they have Prime. So that's just a statement of fact. Amazon Prime, now in South Africa. Well, South Africa's teams and their players did amazing this season in the RC. 2 are in the semifinal. The Bulls on the road at Glasgow. Good luck to them Saturday morning. And then the Stormers, they need luck. Sasha's out. They need a lot of luck at Leinster at Aviva Stadium. But both teams in the semifinal. This marks every single year of the RC competition. There's been South African teams in the semifinal. And in fact, every year there's been a South African team in the final, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so people just can't behave themselves. Here we go. You just cannot behave yourself. It didn't take long to already start causing stupidity. Okay? Didn't take long, did it? Did not take long. Okay. Oh, boy. Anyway. So South African players have done very well in the URC, and over half the top team, the top players are South African. But individual awards also went out too. Lions fly half Chris Smith won the URC's Gilbert Golden Boot Award, while his teammate fullback Kuhn Horn took the Ironman prize after playing every single minute of the regular season. It's amazing. Stormers number 8 Evan Ruiz scooped the top try scorer accolade, while Dragons lock Ben Carter secured the tackle machine award, and Ospreys fly half Jack Walsh took the playmaker award. Yep. So the Golden Boot went to Chris Smith, who the Bulls dumped. 149 points, 17 penalties, 49 conversions. Wow. Imagine if he'd been in the Bulls, who scored the most tries. He would have had a lot more. He would have had over 200 points. The Bulls had 80 tries. Kuhn Horn, the Ironman Award for playing every single minute of the season. Incredible. And then the top try scorer was Evan Ruiz with 12 tries in 16 appearances of 18 games. Ambrose Papier and Sasha, these are some of the players dominating the URC Elite 15. The Elite 15 include Kuhn Horn from the Lions, Sasha Feinberg Ungumzulu from the Stormers, Ambrose Papier from the Bulls, Evan Ruiz from the Stormers, Ron Fenter from the Lions, Kobus Wiese from the Bulls, Johan Gerberdar from the Bulls, and Mtutu Mkunu from the Stormers. 8 of the 15 elite players are from the South African sides. And there's actually more South Africans involved because Werner Kok of Ulster was also listed in there, so you can add him in there. That means that 9 of the 15 players were actually South African. Wow, that's incredible. Tells you the state of South African rugby. Turning our attention to East Africa, Ethiopia is going electric, yes. Well, it makes a little bit of sense for them. They have one of the world's largest hydroelectric power stations, and so they can get power from that. But 5% of their fleet is now electric, and they've gone to these electric buses, which don't belch out diesel exhaust. They spent 4 billion euros on fuel imports between 2023 and 2024. That's one thing they're trying to stop. They want to have 500,000 EV share by 2030. More than 100,000 Ethiopia's 1.2 million registered vehicles are electric. They want 40% to be electric by 2030. So that's impressive. We'll see how it goes for them. Many African refugees here. What are you talking about, Stephen? Oh, you mean in Kentucky? Why did that get deleted? Did you delete your comment or did someone take it out? Okay, there's no reason to delete that message, Erica. Erica, there's no reason to delete that message. I can't restore it. Steven's message didn't say anything wrong. Algeria getting top Russian fighters, the Su-34 Mike fighter jets. Algeria ranked 27th globally according to Global Firepower, has finally gotten its hands on Russian advanced Su-34M fighter jets. Follows years of speculation about the deal as part of a broader Algeria-Russians weapons agreement signed 7 years ago. Morocco and Egypt are also expanding militaries, with Morocco forging defense ties to U.S. and Israel, Egypt diversifying purchases from Western and Russian sources despite sanctions. They look remarkably like F-16s, don't they? Sukhoi 34 bombers. At the time of the agreement in 2018, Algiers contracted for 42 Russian combat aircraft, including 14 Su-34 Mike Echoes, 14 Su-35 Echoes, and 14 Su-57 fifth-generation stealth fighters. Deliveries were supposed to be completed by the end of 2025, but that didn't happen. So now they're going to fifth-generation air power with these aircraft. Congratulations to Algeria. A court rebuked a man for bad manners, and he was fined. This is when governments are out of control. Judge Grogan repeatedly pressed Toby on whether he was apologetic for disrupting the ceremony. A man who booed an indigenous welcome to country ceremony during the Anzac Day dawn service has refused to apologize while being sentenced in court. Eli Joseph Toby pled guilty in Sydney's Downing Central Local Court on Wednesday to one count of committing a nuisance at a war memorial for booing loudly when Aboriginal elder Uncle Ray Minicon delivered the welcome. When asked by a judge whether he was sorry for what he'd done, he said he had mixed feelings. "I'm sorry it caused such an uproar, and I'm sorry to my family. My behavior was not designed to be offensive to Aboriginal or Indigenous people. My booing of the welcome ceremony was my vocal expression of a feeling that this is shared by many." The judge repeatedly pressed him whether he was apologetic. "Are you sorry?" "Obviously not," the judge said. "You broke tradition. You broke a deeply sensitive moment to express your thoughts when nobody asked for them. Your actions, especially when you're unable to say you're sorry for what you did, show an ignorance as to what Anzac Day really means." He was convicted and fined $880. He was arrested on Anzac Day. Wow. The booing attracted condemnation from around the country. New South Wales Premier Chris Minns expresses disappointment. This is day to honor sacrifice. So why are Aborigines involved in it? Were they at Anzac Day? Were they involved in the battle in Gallipoli? Were they there? Were they the only ones there? It wasn't an Aboriginal day. It was an Australian day. Ottawa's partnership with Beijing is undermining the work of the counterintelligence folks in Canada. RCMP Royal Canadian Mounted Police and Canadian military intelligence veteran Scott McGregor says Ottawa's new strategic partnership with Beijing undermines more than a decade of efforts by Canada's intelligence and security community to raise awareness about the risks posed by the Chinese communists. The fact that we've engaged in a strategic alliance undermines a lot of that work, and it cuts the legs out of people who have been trying to bring awareness of the threat of China to Canada and North America. Yep. Nope, Chinese politicians have gotten their hooks in the Canadian politicians, and it's been detrimental for Canada's security. Video footage verified by the New York Times showed fire inside Kuwait's international airport. The attack was one of the biggest assaults on the Gulf nation since the U.S.-Iran ceasefire was announced in April. Wow, that's the international airport in Kuwait. The Iranians are criminals and need to be taken out. A barrage of Iranian missiles and drones targeted Kuwait City early Wednesday, killing a civilian and injuring dozens of others at the international airport. The attack, which included a drone strike on an airport passenger terminal, appeared to show that Iran retained the ability to inflict damage to the region as it talks to the United States and a long-term peace agreement drag on without resolution. It is time for this to end. It is time to bomb the living bejesus out of these clowns. Let's get to it, Trump. That's enough. They are just murderers. They're just callous murderers. In the United Kingdom, a Navy helicopter crash kills 3 people. It was in a training exercise when it crashed in southwestern England. The Devon and Cornwall Police, the regional police department, said the crash in the field near the town of Okehampton was reported around 3:45 in the morning. Emergency teams from the police and Ministry of Defense rushed to the scene. Helicopter was a Merlin Mk4. The Mk4 is used primarily for missions by the Royal Marines. It was almost completely destroyed, its tail lying in charred grass and debris. Canada has called for the U.S.-Mexico Canada Free Trade Agreement to be renewed for 16 years. Don't count on that. That's a long time. Look how we got screwed by NAFTA. Dominique LeBlanc, Canada's Minister for U.S. Trade, sent a letter Tuesday to U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer and Mexico's Economy Secretary Marcelo Ebrard, conveying Canada's recommendation. He says the agreement's beneficial to each of our countries in the integrated North American economy. I don't know if that's entirely accurate. The USMCA has allowed Canada and Mexico to avoid much of Trump's protectionist measures because many Mexican Canadian goods are covered by the free trade agreement. We shall see. I wouldn't hold my breath on that one. President Trump is coming with tariffs at 59 countries and the European Union, 12.5% countries that failed to crack down on goods made with forced labor. Jameson Greer, the U.S. Trade Representative, said yesterday that the investigations found that the 59 countries, along with 27 nation European Union, have failed to enact or effectively enforce laws prohibiting imports made with forced labor. Section 301 investigation, which I've warned you about, it's coming now. Yep, so 12.5% tariffs coming. Good luck on that. Good luck on that. Well, it was a primary night last night in many states around the United States on a Tuesday. That's when we have our elections. And the key takeaways, California, Iowa, and other states. Well, look at this. In Iowa, Republican Representative Ashley Hinson will face off against Democratic Josh Turek. California governor's race was uncalled. California's an incompetent state, can only report 58% of the votes. I went to bed and it was over 50%. And throughout the night and up till today, 12 hours later, they still only have 58%. California is stealing elections. That's what's happening here. In Iowa, Zach Lon defeated 4 Republicans, including President Trump's endorsed candidate, Randy Feenstra, to win the primary. Wow. And Karen Bass will advance to the runoff of the election in November. So, Scott Pelley has been fired from 60 Minutes. Ooh, after running his mouth. CBS fired longtime 60 Minutes correspondent Scott Pelley on Tuesday, a day after he reportedly said editor-in-chief Barry Weiss was murdering the show and accused its new producer of having slender qualifications for the job. Well, the 68-year-old Scott Pelley has 0 qualifications to work at CBS now. 0 qualifications to work at CBS. Barry Weiss strikes back at Pelley's idiotic comments. She says that's the path he chose. In her first public comments on the firing, Ms. Weiss, CBS News editor-in-chief, said the longtime correspondent had broken the trust in the newsroom. I'm only interested in working in a newsroom where it's built on trust and mutual respect. We cannot do our work without it, said Ms. Weiss. That foundation was broken on Monday, where Scott Pelley said that Ms. Weiss was murdering 60 Minutes. And asserted that Nick Bilton, the tech journalist hired to run the show, would never be welcome. Despite our intention to engage with the arrogant asshat Scott Pelley to find a way back, unfortunately we weren't able to do so, and so we had to part ways. Good riddance, this propagandist in chief. No one wants to see you, buddy. Good riddance, Scott Pelley. Be gone. Well, let's take a look at the California governor's race, where it has been stuck for hours this morning at 58% of the votes, as the Democrats, no doubt, are marshaling their mail-in ballots so that they can change the outcome of this. But they've got a lot of votes to overcome because Tom Steyer is trailing Steve Hilton by over 400,000 votes. They're going to have to find a lot of votes somewhere in order to overcome this. Steve Hilton leads the race with nearly 1.4 million votes and 28% of the vote. Look at the map, how red it is. That's where Hilton leads in those counties all over the state, from San Diego all the way to the Oregon border, from the Pacific to the interior. He leads everywhere except along that leftist hate-wanking coast of San Francisco, San Jose, and in Los Angeles County. But he has 1,386,966 votes, and the corrupt, incompetent California authorities cannot manage to count votes a full 13 hours after the balloting closed. These results have not changed since 9:45 this morning. That's 2.5 hours ago. 2.5 hours ago. Bass advances to run off an LA mayor's race. Yep, Karen Bass, this evil, disgusting, vile human being who couldn't bother to show up for the fires. She was busy getting a bullshit award in Ghana. She's not from Ghana. Yep. She campaigned on housing affordability, public safety, and homelessness, all things that she's fostered to make worse. In Iowa, this is the race. Governor Larry Roden has, or not in Iowa, excuse me, in South Dakota. So I said Iowa. In South Dakota, Governor Larry Roden has lost. Wow. The sitting governor has lost. The race has been called with 95% of the votes in. He is trailing by over 7,000 votes, and that means the Republican primary goes to Toby Dodine in South Dakota. Larry Roden's time is over. Democrat Dan Ehlers was uncontested. In the Republican at-large primary, Marty Jackley won almost 80% of the vote. Clear. Well, let me just discuss this now. The fact that there's chat going on about why comments were taken out is more misbehaving, and that's going to lead to more timeouts and takeoff. Stop whining about that and move on. Be adults. Otherwise, I'll start giving timeouts. Okay? Enough. That's what we call trolling. That's attention seeking, moaning and whining about something. It happened. It's done. Move on. Stop disrupting my news broadcast. Operation Summer Heat 2.0, FBI director launches anti-crime initiative. The director, Kash Patel, has confirmed that 1,139 suspects were arrested, 984 firearms seized, and 615 indictments were served in another operation. He went to West Virginia to announce the initiative. We'll go after every animal, every predator, every drug trafficker, every terrorist that dares come in our country and take away our freedoms because they're jealous of the way we live. There's no small endeavor. We're going to replicate the operation for the next 95 days across the country. That's impressive. So that's got the election there again. Here's the mayor's election. Karen Bass pulled in 35% of the vote. Spencer Pratt got 30%. And that's what 63% of the votes in. LA is still got 37% of the votes out there. Okay, apparently we have a problem here following directions. I'll solve this problem very quickly. I'll solve this problem now. You know, it's very simple. If people can't behave themselves, then everyone pays a price for it. You know, that's how it works. That's how it works. Why is that? Turn that off. People cannot behave themselves, then we'll just solve this problem. It's very simple. Very, very simple. Very simple. I just solved this problem right now. So, live chat is suspended. That's it. People can't follow the rules, then everybody pays a price. Chat is suspended. Yep. Chat is suspended. Okay? If that's how we're going to behave. We can't, again, this is the news. You want to have a conversation in chat, then start a session on ICQ. All right? Okay? Problem solved. People can't adhere to the rules. Everyone pays a price. Sometimes we have to do this because people just simply cannot listen. I cautioned people. I said stop it and couldn't stop it. Had to keep running their mouths. Okay? Enough. You don't like it, then leave. People are here for the news, not for your whining. Reverend Jordan Wells says, this is disgusting. What we're watching, California's election, corruption in plain sight. NBC just admitted that they need to flood of ballots coming in the wee hours of the morning to lift both Democrats above Steve Hilton. While Florida and Texas had clear results on election nights, California drags out its mysterious late-night ballot dumps. This isn't democracy. This is how a corrupt one-party state cheats to stay in power. Enough. If Republicans like John Thune actually fought back and demanded real election integrity reforms, paper ballots, same-day counting, voter ID, no more hidden mail-ins, we could stop this. Californians deserve better. Steve Hilton is fighting for real change. Share if you're tired of the games. And I will share this right now. Okay. Sad news, Peabo Bryson, the soulful singer, has passed away at the age of 75, known for his duets from Disney's Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast. Incredible singer, Peabo Bryson. Two-time Grammy Award-winning R&B singer, best known for his voice behind Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin, has died at the age of 75. He had a stroke a few days prior. Our hearts are broken. We find comfort in knowing how deeply Peabo was loved and how many lives were touched by his voice and his generous spirit. Born and raised in South Carolina, the singer-songwriter and balladeer launched his career with the group Moses Dillard and the Textown Display in the 70s. Shortly afterwards, Atlanta label Bang Records signed him as a solo artist. He had a stroke in late May and was placed under medical care. In 2019, he made a full recovery after having a heart attack. Peabo Bryson, gone at the age of 75. It's kind of sad. Kind of sad. I like Peabo Bryson's voice and his music. It was good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. All right. Now the news is over. Now people can chat and moan about whatever they want. Okay? All right? Okay. Let's turn it back on. Very rude. It's getting old. Okay? Okay. Chat's turned back on. If anybody cares to chat anymore, you can chat now. If you care to chat, you can chat. If not, that's fine. Your question, your prerogative, okay? But I'm here to take questions. All right, you guys are welcome for the news. My pleasure. All right, cool. Yep, I laid down the law because I'm tired of it. It's not your little whiny little session. People want to misbehave, go elsewhere. All that does is cause division and sow problems here. Someone got their message deleted and got a timeout. When you get a timeout, all your previous message disappeared. It disappeared because I found the comment offensive. Same. That was my choice. It's my prerogative. It's my channel. It's my program. You're not required to watch it. I appreciate you watching. I'm grateful, but I'm not going to sit here and tolerate people misbehaving. And this is after I restored someone to the channel, and this crap happens. Thank you for the news, says Arnold. You're welcome. Cool. Here we go. Here we go. So I'm busy giving the news, and you're over here busy disrupting the chat with profanity and rude comments. I noticed it sometime later. I went back and gave a timeout for that comment. It doesn't matter what the last thing someone said was. It doesn't matter what you just said. It's your conduct. Remember how I lost all those colored viewers because one of my viewers typed something backwards and then people lied and called me a liar and said my channel spread racial hatred? Remember that bullshit? It's my channel, and I will police it the way I feel. I don't take people out unfairly, okay? That's a fact. People know my tolerance has been unbelievably, except when it comes to bigotry, racism, and hatred or threats. Then you're gone. But that Christian Paradago retard, Dogzilla retard, and so many other retards we've tolerated because they dance around. Do not act like an ass in my chat. If you're going to be an ass, then go watch another channel. Well, Neff, I don't know about Trump sending biological prisoners back to their prisons because he doesn't have control of state prison systems, only the federal penitentiary system. I don't think Spencer Pratt will win in November. They'll spend a lot of money to get Karen Bass reelected. Hey, Hetty, what's going on? Yes, Christian Paradago. Remember that? All he did was come here and try to start stuff. And I was very patient because when I started this channel, I said, this channel, I want to foster discourse. People, and this is, I was naive to think that people actually wanted to talk, they actually wanted to share and discuss. I thought, because my experience in life is I could convince people who had different opinions with the facts and analysis and showing them the outcomes. I've been very successful throughout my life explaining to people that capitalism is the best form of human economic discourse. And that representative democracy is, while it's messy, is the best form of governance we have. And I've been very successful in the Middle East, in Africa, in Europe, doing that my entire life and convincing people to do things. But then on social media, I assumed that people were rational here too. I didn't realize I was naive 6 years ago, thinking that I could have a rational conversation with the likes of Christian Paradago or certain Van Vikes. I did not see the under 16 Craven Week team. No, I haven't seen that, Arnie Browns. I know nothing about teams and men assessing. That says accessing. Are you saying accessing? I don't know anything about that. Adelia, you weren't given a timeout, but you're still talking about it. You weren't given a timeout. Adults not adulting. Please adult. Yep. No, people can't debate without it getting offensive. Look, it's one thing to call public figures names. That's very different than a conversation here. Yep. So anyway, if people don't like it, then they don't have to be here. I mean, I would love for people to come to this program. I love to have millions of viewers. But people shouldn't be turds, you know? Anyway, so that's the reality. All right. It was a simple thing, and then all we got was whining about it. And see, all it did was distract. Someone said something. I saw profanity in the chat. I didn't want that profanity sitting in my chat, so I removed it. Simple as that. And gave a timeout because that person kept going on and on about it. Anyway, and now we're just still talking about it years later. We're done. We're done. Enough of that. Enough. All right, so when is R going to have a web call? I don't know. It's supposed to be in June, they said. How are the Republicans doing in the midterms? Corey, I don't know. It's a long time till the midterms, and Iran is weighing heavily on this, so we'll see. We'll see. Reggae. We had some reggae. Anyway, so I'm very disappointed in performance of the last few videos. They've all done very poorly. The three of them together, 8, 11, aren't even half of what my previous one was for it. It's crazy. Danica, I do respond to Facebook, but I'm not there as often. I'm not getting the same return on investment that I put there. So let me see. Let me go there. When are the new refugee stats coming? Gosh, why do you guys keep asking this question? I've told you. Does anyone listen to the things I say? The 5th of the month, unless it's a holiday or a weekend, then it comes out the next working day. It's the 5th of the month. The 5th is Friday. Just last night, I said again, the 5th of the month. And I will be making a video when that comes out late in the evening. Come on, guys. You got to pay attention. So, why are you asking? Is there a question that I missed on there? On the Facebook? Callie got taken by Pratt. I have no idea what you're saying, Hoppity. You think you'll be at the White House supporting the White Cross Project? Answer is going to have it. I'd like to see an action is proving mainstream media. Spartan God, yeah, I'm holding very close to the vest on that. I finally heard from Answer Earths, and let's just say it was positive, okay? That thing is still being put together and still getting approvals and still this. So I don't want to make a promise that can't be fulfilled. But as far as the White Cross thing, the current scheduling for when they intend to do it and what they intend to do and my interest, yes, those things align. So yeah. Johan, thanks for all your info and help with people. We're busy with our things for the refugees. Okay. Pizza Party says, I think a lot of people are emotional because of the program. That's why there's some misbehaving. Well, that may be true, but people were misbehaving before the program. Yep. Beulah says, my videos don't show up anymore. Yep. Yeah, well, you guys, Beulah, thank you. I don't understand why people have to search for my channel. It's called a bookmark. It's called a favorite. It's very easy to do. If you like the channel that much, make it a bookmark and just make a habit of going there and checking it. I mean, that's what I do for channels I like. I mean, I don't do that with Ronaldo's channel, but I do it with channels that I like. It's not hard. Big Fish says it's flooding. Wow, happy birthday to your dad, Jacqueline Muller. Let's get that up. That's worth noting. That's a hell of an achievement, just longevity-wise. You know, at some point, people have to just respect longevity. So happy birthday to your dad. That's incredible. Wow. That is incredible. 90 years old today. That's something else. Wow. Cool Beans, you're welcome to comment whenever you like. Dad turns 90 today. Joe Texas is just asking the same question I just answered. I just answered that question, literally. I mean, come on. You know what? It's funny. It's like people are trolling. You know, I mean, I just answered that question. I mean, it's like I've got voices in my head here. I answer the question, and moments later, the same question is asked. Literally, 60 seconds ago, I answered that question.
The voices whisper, soft as rain. Each one dances
In my brain.
Am I crazy or just free? Tell me now, what do you see? It's getting crowded in my head. Oh yeah. They laugh, they sing, they paint it red. Am I alright? You
Tell me, please. I'm hearing the same question over and over.
I feel fine, just swaying in the breeze. They chat at dawn, they hum at night.
The voices are in my head, man.
Their jokes give me a strange delight. Are they me or someone new? Questions bounce like a kangaroo.
Joe's getting old.
It's getting
Joe, I literally just answered the question, man.
oh yeah. They laugh, they sing, they paint it red. Am I alright? You tell me, please. But I feel fine. Just
Okay, Danica, let me clarify something here very quickly. Last question. Do you load all your videos? Generally speaking, I load most of my videos onto Facebook. Facebook is a very sensitive platform. There are a few that I don't load on there. This is less sensitive than it used to be YouTube, but it's still sensitive. Didn't ask anything. Got retrenched and won't be able to pay YouTube. Facebook is free and don't need to pay to see your content. Danica, no one needs to pay. Thank you, Miss V, for the super chat. No one needs to pay for this content. You don't have to be a paying member. Look, most people here aren't paying members. I wish they all were paying members. That'd be fantastic. Many of them simply can't afford it. None of my content is behind a paywall on YouTube. Not one thing is behind a paywall. On a couple rare occasions, I could count probably on one hand the number of times in the past 6 years that I've made a video for members only and then released it a day or two later or a week later, because it kills the algorithm and it kills the video. So people become members to support the channel, to help raise funds for the channel, to help offset some of the costs, because I've spent a lot of money. I've now spent over $60,000 on this channel in 6 years, and it's actually higher than $60,000. That's a conservative figure. And until last year, I never made any money. I mean, I got money, but it was a fraction of what I was spending, a tiny fraction. You are not required to be a member. There is nothing behind a paywall. Nothing behind a paywall. This channel is free. Thank you for your membership, Danica, and I saw that you got retrenched, and my apologies for your retrenching. It's terrible, and in South Africa, that's a deadly situation. So I get it. Yeah, please cancel your membership and save your money, please. I mean, yeah, Danica, there's no reason you don't have to pay. Now, see, I just said that, and everybody here, some people are going to cancel memberships, and that's fine. If you don't have the resources to pay for it, you shouldn't be paying for it. You shouldn't be part of it. I don't ask for people to put themselves in a difficult financial situation. Some people are blessed. Some people are incredibly fortunate. Some people are very energetic and very successful, and some people like to contribute because they are, and I'm very grateful for that. But I don't turn anyone away. That's like that shameful conduct that the lady attacked me recently. I'm not going to mention her name. You know who she was. And said, I'm all about the money. What a crock of that was so disgusting. She keeps sending me comments in WhatsApp, and I haven't bothered to read them for a week because I'm so angry at this woman. You know, so disrespectful and rude. I haven't bothered to read them. No, you don't have to be a paying member. No. The content here is free. I don't know why people think the content costs money. And that's so, this is not directing you, Danica, but there are people who do that. Oh, you have to pay to be on this channel. Never been the case. Never been the case. No one's ever been forced to pay. All I ask you to do is if an ad comes up, let it play, because I get a fraction of a cent. And if tens of thousands of people do that, I get a few dollars. So that's all I ask. Yep. Yeah, I load most of my videos. So there you go, Danica. Rationality is as rare as common sense. You, like me, assume the best in people. Exactly, Jalopy. I assume the best in people, and I'm proven wrong time and time again. Okay, let me just, where I live at, there was no crime. I mean, look, there's no such thing as no crime. There's always crime. But where I live at, we've had a flood of people flooding into this area of other ethnicities, of other nationalities, without our consent, without our approval. We've had a rash of homes built, which were all middle and upper income, which flooded our schools and has raised our taxes, even though most of those people don't have kids in school. Resources are strained. The roads are falling apart here. I feel like I'm in Africa again. And now they're building massive apartment complexes at a major intersection, which is a disaster now. The road is shut down. They announced it was shut down on May 8th. They didn't say it was going to be closed for more than one day, and it's still closed. I had to go research where the hell it's at because they didn't publish it saying it's shut down until August. Well, while they divert and make a traffic circle, and these idiots in this state don't know how to do right away, so we're going to have a disaster and have multiple traffic accidents before you know it there. So in this area, virtually no crime. But in the past year, a convenience store along the highway, which is in the town, adjacent to me. I'm not in town, I'm outside town. That thing was broken into and robbed in the middle of the night. So we had a larceny there. Then they found 2 brothels running in this town. 2 brothels run by Koreans. So they had hoes in this town, a town with just a few thousand people with hoes. And then just most recently, I read that report last night, not too far away, in a daycare, a 2-year-old was sent to school by her drug-dealing mother with cocaine in her lunch pail. 4 minor children, small children in the house, and she was dealing drugs. This within, walking distance of where I live. Then last year we had porch pirates, not in my neighborhood, but in neighborhoods nearby, walking around stealing packages that are delivered on people's porches, something we've never had a problem with before. They were caught. The whores were caught. This drug dealer's been caught, but none of this riffraff was here 5 years ago. Not any of it. Before COVID, none of these scumbags were here. We didn't have these problems. The worst thing we had before were domestic disputes, or a little petty larceny where somebody steals a bicycle or something like that. But this riffraff is moving into here. So it's time for me to exit stage right, stage left, off to Wyoming. This is what happens when you let people into your neighborhoods that don't respect you. Well, thank you, Martin, for that super chat. Arno says, I have no voices in my head. I asked them and they all agreed. Hey, Sparky, do you have more voices after the electric shock therapy or fewer? I'm just curious. Strongmen think in cause and effect, so that it was replaced with emotion over logic. Narrative over evidence experts. Yeah, you're right, Holden Caulfield. You're right. I see that Pratt is advanced. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Hoppity. That makes more sense, what you said the first time. Yes, he'll advance to the November race against Karen Bass. That's correct. And at the moment, it looks like Steve Hilton and Xavier Becerra will be the Democrat-Republican. Although they're talking overnight, the media are so frustrated because they've still got 42% of the vote out, which they're hoping to steal the election by getting Tom Steyer in there. Your Wi-Fi's messing around. Sorry, edge leak. The metric system can't measure freedom. That's a good one. I like that. That's good. The metric system can't measure freedom. That's good. Yep. That's a good one. I wrote that one down. Carlos Freitas here. I didn't see Carlos. Okay. Joe is not smelling toast yet. Bugger off bunny is coming. I think you should write a book on all your intelligence analysis. Hey, Spartan God, thank you. Love to pay you, Colonel, for some help, but I know you can't do it. No, I can. There's nothing stopping a pizza party. Look, I could take people's money. I could offer you advice. There's nothing illegal about that. I have a consultancy. If you want consultancy advice, I could charge you for it. But to me, at the moment anyway, that's very unfair. People are desperate because they're being persecuted. If I turn that into a financial gain opportunity, then I'm not an objective person reporting on it. And my advocacy for people becomes questionable. So, people lie about me all the time and say I take money from refugees. This is all about taking money. Those are lies. These are jealous, shameful, hateful people. And if you give them ammunition, then you give them ammunition. But that's not the reason I don't do it. The reason I don't do it is because I don't think it's the right thing to do. I don't think it's right to ask people who are desperate to get out to take money from them. Some people are wealthy and offer me money. I've been offered thousands of dollars by a person to give them advice. But I'm not an attorney, and I'm not comfortable doing that because I don't think it's right. Oh, I got you. Danica says YouTube wants payments for premium, which means no ads. Okay, no, Danica. Yeah, well, you just have to watch the ads. I mean, do you mind? I mean, if it's that big a deal, you can skip past them, okay? Okay. She made a video about me again. Wow, that woman is demonic. Really? Wow. What is the video about this time? What is the video about this time? Wow, this woman she's got mental health issues. Really got mental health issues. Okay. Mental health issues. Yep. And she's emboldened. Yeah, anyway. Yep. You can report people for bullying. Thank you, Andre. Loretta said she's leaving. Okay. Sorry to hear that, Loretta. Yeah, not everybody has $1 to contribute, Martin. Some people are really desperate. Yeah, Delia. No, I don't expect you. I know you spend a lot of money on lawyers. Yep. Yeah, all YouTube Premium does is let you watch without adverts. That's all you get. And you can download some videos, I think. Amelia, thank you for the 200 Rand. Oh, Alert Box is on. Okay, cool. Okay, where are we at here now? Colonel IB noticed something while I was a member. I didn't get adverts. Now I get. No, member, you're still supposed to get adverts. It's only premium that doesn't get it, so surprising. Here at the cultural orientation, 80% of the people are black Africans. So the question is this, Stephen Swanepoel. Here's the question. You're in Kentucky. You're going to cultural orientation with a service. Here, everybody listen is a refugee to me right now. Okay, listen to this, okay? He is in Kentucky attending a cultural orientation class, which you get before you come to America. They're supposed to provide after you get here. He's at a cultural orientation. 80% of the people in his orientation are black Africans in Kentucky. Let me ask you this question. When was the last time a non-South African refugee came to America? Can somebody tell me? It was November. 3 Afghans went to Colorado. When was the last time a black African refugee came to America? Anybody know? January of 2025. So January of 2026 is 12 months. So January, February, March, April, May. That's 17 months since the last African came here. Let's assume that those 80% black Africans all arrived in January last year. That means they've been in the country for 1 year and 5 months. But the refugee agencies are telling you they don't provide any service to you. You're cashed out. You're done after 30 days or 60 days or 90 days. Do you see the lies that they tell? Do you see how I've been exposing their fraud? They are paid to provide you support for 5 years. 5 years. Not 5 days, not 5 minutes, not 5 hours, not 5 weeks, not 5 months, 5 years. And it doesn't mean you get handouts and grant money for 5 years. No. But they're getting cultural orientation 17 months after they could, the earliest they could, or the latest they could have been here. 17 months later. Stephen Swanepoel, you listen to me? You see what I'm talking about here? When these agencies tell you they're done with you, they're piss off, footsec. They're liars. And you should report them to ORR. Martin, thank you for the 28 Rand. Lived in Boca. I used to rollerblade to Publix. Well, you're talking about Boca Raton? I don't shop at Publix. That's for richy people. And I don't like Florida, so I don't have an answer for you on that one, Delia. Evan Ruiz signing for the Bulls. Well, that's news to me. I hadn't seen that anywhere. Whoops. South Africa used to be like that once upon a time. Clean, well-maintained laws follow. Thank you for 35 Rand snippets. Happy Chappy 35. Thank you for everything you do. You're welcome. I have more now than I had before. Well, Corey, you always should have gotten ads as a member. A member just gets you avatars and emojis and longevity. And if I make anything that are special, I can make a chat only for members. I can make a video only for members, but I tend not to do that, and I tell people that up front. I have a premium subscription allows ad for, yeah, well, that's premium. That's YouTube Premium, yep. No, Coral Beans, I don't think my neighborhood is bad. What I'm saying is that we didn't have any of these problems until we let people, well, we didn't, until authorities flooded our neighborhoods with people who aren't from here. And I'm not from here, but I obey the law. Pizza Party, thank you for $5. Derek Reinhardt from Reinhardt Transportation, probably the biggest transport company in South Africa, passed away on Monday, age 73. I didn't know that. Thank you for that, James. Chisiki, how's it going? I didn't see you in the chat. Good to see you there. We got bars here, and before you enter, they ask if you got any weapons. If you say no, they give you one. Cool beans. That's funny. Sammy says, I don't regret a single cent of my membership in your channel. Your content is accurate, unbiased, objective, humorous, and highly informed. Well, thank you for that, Sammy. That's a very kind endorsement. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. And then, do you actually get something for the ads? Yes. Yes. I get a lot less. So if an ad pays 1 cent, they don't pay 1 cent. An ad pays a fraction of a cent. But if an ad pays 1 cent, now if you watch a 30-minute advert, one of those infomercials, I get some money on it. Sometimes I get like 50 cents or $1. But a typical ad, I'll get a fraction of a cent. But let's just say it pays 1 cent, okay? In South Africa. If the ad is for Temu in South Africa and I get 1 cent, the same ad, if it's run in America, I'll get 8 cents. In UK, I'll get 6 cents because the advertisers pay a lot more here, which much bigger audiences, more lucrative market. But yes, I do get something that South Africans watching. That's another thing. So if this was all about money, I wouldn't even be bothering with South Africa. I'd be making a news commentary program about America exclusively, like that Nick Fuentes guy, except I wouldn't be attacking people racially and ethnically. And all the ads there, I'd make tons of money because you make a lot more money from U.S. ads. Cool Beans lets the shorts run. Well, thank you for that. I don't make much money on shorts at all. I make a couple dollars off of shorts, but thank you. It does help the algorithm because it draws people to the channel. She says I poison or kill puppies. What? I kill puppies. It's a plush toy. It's a stuffed animal. I kill puppies. Oh my God. Oh my God. The person is delusional. It's a plush toy. I kill puppies. Oh my gosh. Some of these people are so mentally deranged. I poison or kill puppies. What? Oh dear God. Are you making that up, Luva? Did you make that up? Oh my gosh. No, I don't know if Madeline came over and Spartan got, because I always forget who said it. I made an intentional effort not to remember who it was. Yeah, but you're right, it was Madeline. Sent some info on Malawi refugees, probably spamming you. So thank you, Stip. It's 35 Rand. They're all here for more than a year and they're not working and need to translate. Exactly. A year after being in the country, they don't speak language. I was in Germany 3 weeks and I got by in a nightclub. 3 weeks. In 3 months, I was fluent in German. Now, mind you, I was with Americans from 5 a.m. until 5 p.m. every day, regardless, and often gone for weeks at a time on exercises in those 3 months. I arrived in June of 1984 in Bad Kreuznach, Germany. By August, I was rapping German fluently, without any classes, despite the fact that I went on several exercises in the meantime. If you're here a year and you don't speak English, get the hell out. You're not a refugee. You're a fraud. Refugees try to cooperate and get along in the country they're in. Wow. No, I didn't see what Church World Service had to say yesterday. What did they say, Tampa Chick? When some say they passed high school, they mean passed by. Can I please pay you to email you? No, unfortunately, that's not going to help you. It's just a waste of your money. But thank you for the $5 here, Pizza Party. Wow, that's crazy. Zuma family, business never steals small, okay? Your tabs are turning blue, Jasper. I guess that means, your case is moving. Most black South Africans better off now that they were for independence. I don't know about that. People may have more freedom. They may be able to, have sex with people of other races. They may be able to speak mostly freely, but crime has never been as bad as it is now, and it hits South Africans particularly hard, black South Africans. And economic deprivation was never like this before, so I don't know about that. The Entities group would love to have you and send you an email. It's reply. Okay. Thank you for that, Jalopy. Rishan, welcome to you. I'm running out of time here. Premium still pays ad revenue through Yes. Yes, I do get ad revenue. In fact, let me take a look and I'll tell you. Let's see, earnings. If you're a premium member, I get money for ads, even though you don't watch them. Yep. So let me see sources. That's not what I want. Oh, I think I'm looking in the wrong place. Okay, this is why I need to look here. Analytics. Come on, YouTube. Okay. Okay, let's see. So, what the hell's with this page? It's not loading YouTube. There we go. See more. Okay. YouTube Premium. 6.5% of my revenue came from YouTube Premium. Even though I don't get the premium, they still pay me. Yeah, 6.5%. Yep. Yep. My shorts only earned 0.4% of the ad revenue. Membership's actually the largest right now because watch ads have dropped. So, yeah. So, there you go. All right. So, there you go. Answers that question. Grok makers wouldn't even know about it without me. Wonder when the fake media will wake up the fact South Africans giving up their gains, sometimes worth millions, to flee. Yeah, exactly. Plumbing company wants to interview. Well, good luck with that, Stephen Swanepoel. Be humble, but be honest. Well, you don't get ads because YouTube's being silly. Not a joke. That's our neighborhood. Okay. Woman is cuckoo. Okay. You need to find out who is your FG coordinator employed by DHS state you're at. They can put you in touch with the if it warrants it. I know who it is. Your aunt is 97 years old. Wow, Pat Schultz, that's amazing. Most of the people criticizing me take their meds because most of them are frauds. None of them ever come with any factual information. It's all just ad hominem attacks. I enjoy following your channel. You have excellent knowledge of South Africa, its people's culture, its history, its politics. You say a thing like it is, no bullshit. Yeah, thank you, Johan. Appreciate that. Verna, I'm okay. What's administrative hold while you're... okay, Mr. G, this is something I've answered many, many thousands of times. It doesn't mean anything. Administrative hold means that they're waiting for something. They can't progress until something comes in. It could be an investigation, could be a document, it had nothing to do with you. It could be they've contacted someone about something in your past, and they're waiting for a response. It takes time. Who said assimilation is a Christian value? I didn't say that. Yep. Okay. All right, I think it's time for me to go to Ronaldo. Let me see if he sent me a link. There it is. Okay, time for me to go, folks. I'll see you in Ronaldo in just a moment. Thanks for being here. Be sure to hit the like button. Thank you for that, Luva. Tell me about that. I poison puppies and kill puppies. That's interesting. Never done that. Never done that. That's slander. That's unsubstantiated slander. So, hardly a surprise. Some people are really demented. I don't like to say the phrase cat lady because it's insulting, but, sometimes things apply. So I don't know if it applies in this case. I love cats. So, am I a cat dude? No, I'm not a cat dude. Anyway, all right. Wow. See you guys on Ronaldo. Cheers. If you stay premium, does YouTube pay you? Yeah, they do. No, Donica, if you stay don't stay premium just so I get money, Donica. If you retrench, you need to save your pennies. You need to save your rands. I'm encouraging you not to be a member, okay? If you have the resources, fine. But if you don't, then don't do it, okay? All right? Yes, if you're a premium member, I get money. 6.5% of the revenue on the channel comes from premium members because I get money from them watching, even though they're not watching ads, okay? Cheers, guys. See you in a bit.